Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game 1 in a series between Romantic and Alice. Romantic spawning as the teal human player on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Alice, what's going on? All of these peasants really not gathering lumber. So yeah, Romantic spawning as the teal human player on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Alice spawning as the orange night elf on the top right. This is going to be a human versus night elf matchup, as you guys can quickly see. And the first thing I will note for you guys is the fact that there is a barracks before an altar of kings. So a rather unorthodox opening already coming in from Romantic. We'll see if we are going to be looking at perhaps a tavern hero. Meanwhile, Alice, I believe, is doing the same exact thing as well. Yeah, opening up with a tavern hero, not too unheard of coming in from a night elf player, but I haven't seen a human player go for a tavern hero first in quite some time. You can see that Alice is quickly making its way over and wants to know what hero will be chosen, and it looks like it will be a Panda. Panda picked up by Romantic, taking down that opening position Wisp right there. Not quite sure what that was about. Are we going to see a Breath of Fire? Oh, goodness, that Wisp is going to be able to get away. That Wisp down to 12 hit points. The Footman now trying to catch up to him, trying to take him down, and it looks like it is going to be a Tavern hero. And oh, another Panda now comes out. All right, it is going to be Panda on Panda action here as we open up game 1 in this series, and it looks like Romantic was originally thinking about militia clearing out this mercenary camp down over here, but because of the Panda making his way over and how strong that Panda is with Breath of Fire, you do not want to give multiple targets for Breath of Fire that early. Panda coming over, gonna go ahead and clear out this 3-3-3 creep camp, will not give level 2, as we see Gloves of Haste now picked up. Now, I am curious, are we going to be looking at Drunken Brawler, level 1, level 2 Drunken Haze? These are all questions that will come to pass here, as we are now looking at this Ancient of War taking a lot more damage than I would have normally expected. You can see over here that the 4 Wisp are repairing this Ancient of War pretty quickly, trying to make sure that it doesn't fall at the hands of these Ice Troll Trappers. All right, Ancient of War down to very low hit points. Panda now comes by, gonna clear things up really quickly. Ancient of War down to 14 hit points, and it gets cleared out. I believe that was a huge mistake by Alice to let that Ancient of War fall. Meanwhile, level 2 already on the Panda off to the north. Without Moonwells though, Romantic is going to have a very difficult time trying to keep hit points and mana onto that Panda. Now, also what's going to be interesting is the fact that we are most likely not going to be looking at a heavy caster army coming out from Romantic unless we are looking at an Altar of Kings, Altar of Kings with an Archmage later on. Town Hall not yet upgrading to keep. Arcane Tower now being upgraded as well. As you can see that this Panda off over here has a potion of invulnerability. Very low on hit points though. Has to be extremely careful, and it looks like he will be able to get away. That one potion of invulnerability giving him a little bit extra life, or a little bit of extra courage, so to speak, as we now see level 3 onto Romantic's Panda. Level 3 hero already there. Staff of Teleportation now trying to get away. He's going to be able to get away, and oh, the Archer quickly gets ensnared, as it looks like the Ice Troll will go ahead and take him down. Romantic now using this opportunity and time to set up an expansion here at what I will call the 9 o'clock expansion location. Meanwhile, Panda quickly heads back home, uses those Moonwells, and is already back up ready to go. Granite Golem quickly takes down what I believe to be a Tree of Life right there, being built a little bit too close off to the south there, or off to the west or east there, excuse me, as we are now looking at the Panda now looking to do a little bit of pressure, trying to come inside here. It looks like the Breath of Fire did make its way through onto these peasants, and that is going to be a very scary proposition. The Panda knows that he can just most likely make his way over and Breath of Fire down all of these units. They're all going to go ahead and try and separate. There's the Breath of Fire. There's one hit for one. There's Breath of Fire took down the other one off over there, as the Panda, down to 150 mana, can make its way back over once more and do it again. This peasant knows that he's going to get blown over here in just a moment. There you go. 2 more peasants now taking down Arcane Tower. Looks like it is going to end up falling here. And the Panda may even be able to stop this town hall from coming to pass. All right, let's go ahead and take a look down over here. Panda may come back around. There's a huge breath of fire and a huge amount of damage dealt. Romantic now coming back over with his own Panda, level 3. Dust of Appearance, Boots of Speed. Panda now trying to get back awake. There's a breath of fire there. Scroll of Town Portal quickly being used. And is he going to be able to take it down? No. Romantic losing much of his early units here. No expansion to show for it. And I believe he is also losing in the tech war. Romantic down to 39 supply compared to his opponent's 31. Wait, 31? Where is all of his opponent's supplies and units? Not quite sure what's going on there. You can see an Arcane Vault now being upgraded here. You can also take a look. Panda gonna be using the Scroll of Regeneration to try and keep all of these footmen up and running, so to speak. The problem is a level 2 Breath of Fire from this Panda, and you're gonna look at him do exactly that once more. All right, there's the engagement. There's a hit. You can see the footman now trying to run back over here. There's a Breath of Fire, but it looks like Romantic is actually missing with his Breath of Fire a little bit more than his opponent. Now, meanwhile, he is going to be backing off here. Panda does have a little bit of items now going to be trying to go after some of these units. Footman now coming in as well. There's a Breath of Fire. Not quite sure who it was. Meanwhile, another Breath of Fire hitting all of the poor footmen there. All those units are going to be backing off. Scroll of Regeneration at just the right time, keeping those units a little bit off guard. All right, there goes one poor unit there. Panda looking to really take down that archer. Boots of Speed will definitely help him out there as he's able to get to his target. Meanwhile, the Panda off over here wants to get some damage, sees the Arcane Tower, now looking for the rest of the remaining footmen, sees them off to the north as the Panda is going to go ahead and try and engage them. All right, Huntress is now looking to come over here. It looks like one footman, nope, not going to get Panda down, as we are looking at a Troll Berserker now being trained up. All right. Will the additional gold be enough for Romantic to hang on into the mid-game? That is the big question now. Another Scroll of Regeneration already being used for the remaining units. No real way to build a town hall right there, as the Panda at level 3 is just very, very difficult to deal with for a footman army. All right, Panda now going after a pretty much a free Troll Berserker. If he can take down that Troll Berserker, that would be a very big deal. Meanwhile, and you can see the damage being just dealt back and forth. Footman now trying to come in. There's a Breath of Fire. Low hit point units should be running backwards already. That, however, is not happening, as another Clarity Potion is quickly used, trying to constantly get that mana back up. You can see that there is double Arcane Towers here. The real danger is this Panda hiding and waiting. It's a trap, and wow, all of those footmen pretty much back into the orange instantaneously, as they are now heading back over here to hide behind an Arcane Vault. All right, Panda is in position, trying or getting a little bit slowed down over here. Is he going to be able to finish off any of these units? You can see, oh, he's trying to get himself into position. And the Breath of Fire off of a Panda actually is much larger than you would normally expect. I guess just like real flames, you can't always see the where the fire really ends unless it's really dark. And you can take a look at Romantic now trying to make his way over. All right, Troll Berserker, now that gets taken down. Is he going to perhaps go one-on-one against a Huntress? No, he is not going to teleport all the way back over here. The Panda could have made its way back in and Breath of Fired him out, but instead it looks like he's going to be able to heal back up in peace. All right, Tree of Life now needs to go ahead and engage, try and take down these Null Overseers. The problem, though, is that the Wisp are taking damage because of that Null Assassin who was trying or was switching targets onto the rest of the remaining Wisp there. Now the Tree of Life is going to make its way back off to the north. Panda sitting at level 3, double Clarity Potions, no real healing going on except for the, Scroll of Regeneration, but that is very slow regeneration for an 800 hit point unit. All right, Panda now trying to engage off over here. Footman is now going after some of the units as well, trying to take down the Tree of Life. Panda over here does have a little bit of mana, but not very much. As you can see, the Footman could perhaps take down easily some of those Wisp right there. All right, one Wisp could have been taken down. Oh, there goes one or two Wisp there, as the Footmen are now just falling. So everyone, this is a bad day to be a unit here, as we see level 4 Panda versus level 4 Panda. Dryads are now attempting to poke poke down this Panda here. The Panda looks like it could possibly escape. Scroll of Town Portal, not quite sure why he isn't using it. Now, there he goes after losing an extra 200 hit points or so, teleporting back home. All right, well, teleporting back to his summer vacation home. Gonna go ahead and pick up some healing once more. You can see him with that scroll of regeneration. However, he's the only one that really needs to use it. May try and pick up a Troll Shadow Priest down over here if the opportunity arises, as the Panda sitting at level 4 here gets a Breath of Fire and hits the majority of the units at this Goblin Merchant Shop. All right, Panda, let's take a look at him. Pretty much back up to 250 mana there. Oh, is he going to Breath of Fire? Yes. Pulls back just a little bit to get a better funnel action right there. You can see him try to pick up some more units. Selling some Clarity Potions, though, using a Clarity Potion, picking up a Potion of Invisibility, using a Scroll of Heal, or picking up a Scroll of Healing. And wow, just a lot of items coming in from Romantic, using items in order to make up for the difference that he is currently or was behind or still behind in terms of tech. Just now starting on his way to tier 2. Panda now make his way off to the north. You can see that there is some repairing going off over here. Panda is going to be able to perhaps blow away all of these Wisp here in just a second. You can see there's the Wisp, and all 3 taken down in a single breath right there. All right, those guys not long for life, long for this world, as a Goblin Zeppelin now going to be picking up the remaining units. Panda is hoping to intercept a couple of Wisps, but it looks like no Wisp are making their way over to that expansion. Only one Wisp being mining in that gold mine so far, as the Panda really wants to perhaps try and find some of those Wisp all around the map. He has not been that lucky so far, as the Dryads have been slowing things down. The Wisp able to sneak in between these Moonwells, making it very, very difficult. He's pretty much using one Breath of Fire to take down one Wisp pretty consistently. Now finishing off a couple of Wisp all across the map here, as he is getting closer and closer to level 5. All right, let's take a look at this. Aggroed somehow the Ogre Lord and the Ogre Mauler. Oh, the towers start attacking their own building to try and pull away aggro from this Goblin Laboratory there. Meanwhile, all right, taking a look at the Panda. Panda is going to have a very bad day. Goblin Zeppelin up in the air. Dryad getting in position. Staff of Teleportation going to be able to head back over here to the Arcane Vault. Plenty of gold, Potion of Healing, and maybe even a Scroll of Regeneration once more once the remaining units get nearby. All right, Dryads are all right there. There's a little bit of poking damage once more as we are looking at a Blacksmith. I don't see... Oh, wait. Level 5 now on the Panda. Not quite sure what was taken out. Down over here. Now level 5 on the Panda. Level 3 Breath of Fire. It is a potential problem. I am curious as to what the level 5 Panda really hopes to do here. There is a lot of magic immune units, and what we're really looking for is perhaps some spell breakers later on. The Dryads dealing a lot of damage here, being able to pull back every so often. Meanwhile, Romantic trying to get into the position here, trying to finish off some of these units. You can see that the peasants are trying to repair. Breath of Fire comes in, takes down the Arcane Vault, and now a new Arcane Vault will need to be constructed. Back over here, we are going into Castle. We are going into triple workshops, so we might be seeing some tanks come into play here in just a moment. Oh wait, Arcane Towers pretty much draining all of the mana right there. Repairs now underway as the Guard Tower is trying to focus down some of those Dryads. Panda in a very, very rather good spot. Potion of Invulnerability, nothing really to attack right there. One tower gone. Romantic's gonna lose another tower here in just a moment, as the Panda is just really trying to finish off some of these units. Another Panda goes down, another Breath of Fire coming in once more. Level 4 Panda versus level 5. This Panda has not gotten any experience, has not taken out any of the Dryads, as we now see a Staff of Teleportation heading back over here. All right, Bear's now out into play. Breath of Fire quickly turning the tables there, as the Bear going to be able to chase back all of those units. All right, let's take a look. 35 over 66. Romantic doing the classic siege engine strategy. He's been sitting at a 40 supply army for quite some time, and this is actually a very strong strategy for Romantic, because he knows that his opponent has went heavy into Dryads. No shame here. His opponent not really keeping track, not realizing that Romantic has not really been investing heavily into any serious army, and I think that Alice really thinks that he has Romantic on the ropes. The big problem, though, is that Romantic isn't really in danger anywhere. He has a good number of units. Or what are we going to be looking at here? Goblin Zeppelin over here. Is he going to spot the workshops? Most likely. You can see anti-magic potion onto that Panda. The Panda now being backed away once more. Arcane Tower is being added again. Level 2 masonry upgrades. Another Breath of Fire going to come in right there as more peasants fall. Level 5 now on the Panda. The Druids of the Claw are going to be coming into position as the Panda quickly picks up a potion of healing. Gonna use one of those here in just a second, and then a potion of mana as well. It looks like it's gonna get taken down as the Breath of Fire is now coming through. All right, Breath of Fire coming down across multiple targets. Arcane Tower gets canceled in time. Bear now gets taken down. Panda now trying to fight back here. Drunken Brawler dealing 132 point critical strike. Guard Tower doing a lot of repairs here. As you can take a look, that's heavy repairs. The Panda now trying to back off. Breath of Fire from the back, and pretty much doing a lot right there as the Panda unable to keep track of the invisible Panda of Alice. All right, Town Hall down to down to 355 hit points. Dryads are now trying to push their way through. More guard towers being added. You really need to start repairing this Town Hall right here. The peasants perhaps should be repairing right there as the the Ancient of Wonder is quickly taken out. All right, this is a Panda on Panda fight. 17 minutes into this game, and still no one really has a big advantage as of yet. 49 over 70, and it looks like Alice is starting to build up a little bit of a bank while trying to stay in low upkeep. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what Romantic is doing. Romantic is just trying to move forward with these siege engines off to the north. And now I think Alice realizes what is going on and how things are going to go a little bit awry here. Bears are definitely going to be needed, but bears are rather slow units. Massive repairs now underway here. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, so many peasants taken out in an instant. These peasants need to be repairing, and it looks like this Town Hall will stay taken down. Wow. Breath of Fire finishing it off right there as a rejuvenation may be coming in. Oh no, Bear gets taken down there. Meanwhile, off to the north, siege engines take down the Tree of Life. Ancient of War trying to be constructed. That is not going to stick around as the Panda is now sitting at level 5. Siege engine going after another Moonwell right there. Panda can continue to heal. Oh, is he going to go after a Dryad? Is this going to give him level 6? It could give him level 6, and there you go. Level 6 Panda now on the field. Earth, Storm, and Fire ready to go. Breath of Fire was possible onto that very low hit point, Druid of the Claw, as the siege engines are now making their way over to the main base. All right, still, no, not mining any gold at this gold mine. Both sides losing expansions, as we are now on one base to one base. Siege engines now trying to head back over here. Are we going to perhaps use Staff of Sanctuary to teleport them back home? That is going to be the big question next, as we are getting level 2 armor upgrades for those siege engines. One siege engine now wandering around. Panda just chasing after that siege engine there. It's going to be a little bit of a separation of duties, so to speak, as a Tree of Life now being built here on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Siege engines, are they going to engage? Oh, there's the roar, and it looks like the siege engines can get taken out by these bears here in just a moment. No Staff of Sanctuary. Meanwhile, the Panda is going to be healing back up, is going to spot this Tree of Life and attempt to take it down. That's not going to be too big of an issue. The bears chasing after these siege engines, and what you really need to consider is that this is a 17 supply army going after a 6 supply army, and it's because of the danger that these siege engines have on a base itself that you have to kind of overcommit with your units to chase after them. Let's take a look back over here. Panda, 107 mana. Level 6 Earth, Storm, and Fire could be coming in just a moment. Siege engines not worrying about the Dryad slow poison, since they are not biological units, they are mechanical, as the siege engines now split up once more. Panda now heading off to the north by himself. Siege engines going around the other way, and this is going to require just a significant amount of micro in order to fight back. All right, Troll Berserkers also in here as well. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire. Those units are now trying to split up. Dryads now trying to head back off over here, as the siege engines are now making their way in over here from the left. All right, Panda coming in from the bottom. Siege engines coming in from every which corner of the map. Panda trying to engage. Romantic looking at a very, very interesting spot right there. Breath of Fire, for some reason, not going after the Druids of the Talon. A little bit of a little bit of a reveal right there as the slow dissipates off of the Panda. All right, I apologize right now if I am just stumbling over my words. This game is so entertaining, but at the same time, so unorthodox. I can't even make a single prediction of what's going to be happening next. The expansion is already up and running for Romantic once more, but it is in a little bit of a fragile state. Also, these siege engines need to constantly be repaired as we are going into level 3 weapons upgrades on those siege engines. Siege engines dealing 44 to 77 damage already. If that increases any, is it 40 or 47 to 77 damage? If it increases any further, you can really take down these Moonwells in a matter of seconds. Now, we do know that Alice does have a good number of bears out onto the field. Breath of Fire right there. It looks like a poor peasant was taken out, giving level 6 onto the Panda. We are now going to be looking at the, Earth Storm and Fire now pressuring inside Romantic's base. Alice able to just destroy this here, as we now perhaps going to get a Breath of Fire onto a bear right now. All right, you can see the Cyclone picking up Romantic's Panda. Are we going to see Earth Storm and Fire? Earth Storm and Fire? Yes, we are. All right, do not ask me which color is who. You can see a slight green or a teal tint versus an orange tint right here. Home field advantage belonging to Romantic, as Storm now just picking up another bear and taking them out from the fight. There goes another bear right there. You can see Earth, Storm, and Fire, both sides. Earth trying to fight back here. A siege engine will get taken down. I do not remember the last time I ever saw Earth, Storm, and Fire happening at the same time from two separate heroes in a 1v1 game. This has got to be a first in all of my 5-6 years of casting Warcraft 3. Cyclone now picking up the Panda once more. Meanwhile, off over here, we are going to see a little bit of a run. Siege engines were trying to take down some of these buildings here. Our Ancient of Wonders, Ancients of Wind, some of them taken down. Siege engines over here from the south able to push out another Moonwell again, as the Panda here gonna be able to perhaps get up to level 7. All right, back comes the Panda the other way. Bears trying to or take down a siege engine here. The siege engine, if it gets taken out, yes, most likely will give levels. Oh no, does not give level 7 to the Panda. Panda almost at level 7. Meanwhile, Bear is right here. Are we going to see Drunken Haze Breath of Fire? Why aren't we seeing Drunken Haze Breath of Fire onto these two bears right there? Or three bears. That would be a very, very easy target right now. Just go ahead and Drunken Haze Breath of Fire them. Tree of Eternity taking a fair bit of damage. You can see 48 to 88 damage. Breath of Fire right there. Staff of Teleportation heads back home. I think that was a Staff of Teleportation. Where's the scroll? No, yeah, Staff of Teleportation coming back home. Tree of Eternity now trying to eat its way through, as we see Panda now sitting at level 7. Level 7 on both Pandas, as we are seeing at 35/20 supply. Romantic is just pressuring and constantly pressuring here with this unit. The siege engine is trying to get into position right over there. Breath of Fire preventing it, and Romantic is not going to be able to get in between these trees to actually take down this Tree of Eternity. All right, Panda down over here trying to take down some more Wisp, going to be able to take down a unit or two. Now he is going to be ended up heading back home. There is gold to be had at this gold mine right here, as Alice soloing a bear with a bear, so to speak. Bear on bear action. Panda Bear versus Druid of the Claw. It looks like the Panda is going to come out ahead in this fight once more. Boots of Speed is on that on the Panda, so the Panda, even though he did have -2 armor, should be able to take down this Druid of the Claw. Druid of the Claw down to 173 hit points. And are we going to see a Breath of Fire finish it off? No, wait, oh my goodness. That Panda, or that bear, trying to finish it off right there. There's the Rejuvenation. There's the Breath of Fire. Panda now using the Scroll of Town Portal. The Breath of Fire, a day late and $1 short coming in from Alice, as the siege engines are now coming back in full. 5 siege engines already here, now going after the remaining buildings here, perhaps trying to take down this Tree of Eternity. The Tree of Eternity actually eating, or ending up eating itself into a bit of a hole right now. The siege engines are now trying to back off, perhaps could even take down Ancients of Wind. Meanwhile, back over here, there is now bears again taking down the poor peasants who just want to carry bags of gold. Off to the north, so much action going on in so many corners of the map. You can see the bears are just getting in tremendous kills so far. Meanwhile, the siege engine gonna go ahead and take down this one over here. Meanwhile, back over here, a new expansion is currently up and operational. Siege engine gonna go ahead and try and take this down. Another siege engine is now arriving to the party. Bears are all in position. Breath of fire across. Let's take a look at this. 3 siege engines, gonna be 2 here in just a moment. Peasant gonna get taken down here. Bears, breath of fire now comes in. Romantic hoping to get in a little bit more damage on the last remaining units, and it looks like Alice is going to end up losing his expansion again. Wow, yes, again. However, this may give, actually no, not quite give level 8. Going to get closer and closer to level 8 on this Panda, and I don't remember the last time I ever saw a level 8 Panda. All right, Earth, Storm, and Fire, Staff of Teleportation. 4 siege engines right there attempting to take down the Tree of Eternity. Tree of Eternity will get taken out. He ate himself into a corner, and Romantic takes game number 1. All right. I just feel like I talked for about 25 minutes straight with really no idea how to explain what was going on. The bears handling the siege engines the best they could. Panda on Panda, breath of fire all over the place. Expansions being destroyed, being rebuilt, having 2 sets of earth, storm, and fire on the map all at the same time. So confusing. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.